Hey Gemini, welcome into Steampunk Psyche. I appreciate you being here. Listen, I'm just going to do a timeless reading, okay? This is just energy. We're going to be doing the reading over the top of the Lover's card because, well, you're associated with the lovers in the archetype or the major arcana, so lucky you. All right, I'm going to get my beautiful mug out of the way. I'm going to shuffle up these cards. Hopefully, it won't take forever, but if it does, got you some tunes, grab your cigarettes, grab your coffee, whatever it is you're into, and we'll find out about some energy for Gemini, the twins, the universal twins. Very active people, on the go, always moving. The modality signs, ushering in the different seasons. They're very adaptable. We have the Ace of Pentacles, so a really, really awesome offering coming in. This could be finances, could be love. It is signified by the garden and the gate in the background. So, and then we have the Empress in the reverse position. Let's see. I kind of feel like with the Empress in the reverse, maybe there might be yeah. Hmm. Let's see. The Empress is very nurturing. She has that nurturing aspect, divine feminine aspect, but it's in the reverse. So I'm thinking that you're upset about something. You're faced with some choices maybe, and you're not quite sure how to deal with those choices yet because it was followed by the Seven of Cups, and that is what is transmuted out of that energy. When but it's followed by the Strength card. So there's something really weighing heavy on you right now, and you want to figure out what that is. Uh, Pentacles could be a job, an opportunity, you know. Um, that's the dominating energy right there. So an offering that is being offered, um, but your energy seems to be in the reverse of the Empress. So maybe you're more masculine. She does fall in the feminine position though. So I kind of feel like it's an offering that intuitively you're not quite sure about. You just can't quite get your finger on it, so to speak. And the Seven of Cups is all about choices. So multiple choices that are taking place, and followed by the Strength card. The Strength is very compassionate. The Strength moves. Her energy is very patient and compassionate. She's reaching into the lion's mouth, and a metaphor for you don't use brute force to f with a lion. You know what I mean? And so, um, but your energy seems to be really grounded. You're just at wit's end with some choices. Okay, the bottom left, we've got the Four of Cups followed by the Seven of Pentacles. Um, Also the Four of Cups, normally in the upright, it talks about, that your focus has been really, really chaotic. Instead of the offering that's coming in right here, you're more focused on the other three cups. But since we're in reversed, it kind of feels like you're gaining some insight, maybe, because it's followed by the Seven of Pentacles, and the Pentacles are, hey, your different energies that you've put into place. You started creating. It's kind of a creative energy. You're planting some seeds of thought, some desires, perhaps, some things you'd like to do, and you're just being patient. And that's kind of what I'm getting is just a patient kind of an energy. So then it's followed by the High Priestess, and that's all of the intuition about everything is coming into play. So I kind of feel like maybe that may have been something in the past. There is a King of Cups offering that is being grounded in your energy, and perhaps maybe that Empress upside down was about this King of Cups. that you're not quite sure. Maybe somebody this offering involves this King of Cups and you're not quite sure how to respond to it. You know, but I feel like with the Strength card, you know, and the High Priestess showing up, you're manifested in that High Priestess energy, and that is, intuitively speaking, you're a very spiritual person, or um very protected. Your energy's protected right now. Um, you know, she holds the aspects of all religious type of energy, um, and mystery. You know, she's wearing the triple crown right here. She's protected by Boaz and Joachim pillars right there that talk about the balance of the light and the dark energies within us. So I feel like you're very balanced, and you are grounding in the King of Cups energy too, which is a loving, supportive kind of energy. So you're feeling really good right now, or at least you're trying to manifest that. But what are you upside down about? What are these choices? That's what I want to know. Yeah. Again, the Two of Swords is choices. And I think it's your balance. It's balancing out the generous side of yourself. Perhaps maybe you're wondering if you're being too generous, or that there is not a reciprocated generosity back towards you, a balance. Because the Six of Pentacles is a generous, balance kind of offering. You know, it's a an energy of, um, you know, kindness and mercy and things like that. So the choice dominating this energy is more of the Seven of Cups. So what are we trying to say here? Perhaps you see somebody that is very generous or kind, you know. Um, and I don't know, maybe you feel like you're going to come forward with the Strength card, you know, showing a strength, a compassion, or a generosity. I'm not sure. Like I said, take what resonates. These are just general energies, and the cards don't lie. They are what they are, and this may apply to you, it may not. There's something always out of the tarot that we can. Okay, the Ace of Cups in reverse. So yeah, this divine offering, emotional love, compatibility. Um, you just are in this place of, it's, yeah, okay, and then it's followed by the Queen of Cups. So in the reverse position, both your cups are in the reverse position. So something about your emotional stability slash love life slash, I think maybe you're seeing, you're rising up into this High Priestess energy, and it brings about a whole lot of questions, right? I mean, um, you know, an awakening of a type. The Queen of Cups is not necessarily like a spiritual awakening, but she's very intuitive and very, she's into the esoteric knowledge, just like the High Priestess. You know, I would consider them both the mothers of the spiritual realm, or at least of our magic, right? And um, our deep seated energies. You know, the things we want to manifest. Those are the two I would look to. You know, she is the, in that cup. She bears imagination, and she bears magic, and the hidden realms within ourselves. And in the over here in the fourth position on the top, we've got the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so there may be a little bit of a materialistic kind of a greed type scenario that you're into or around. Perhaps, you know, your finances aren't quite the way you want them. We did see the Seven of Pentacles, so it looks like you're working on something. But if it's in this King of Cups, you know, okay, then it's followed by the Seven of Swords. So yeah, like I said, it feels like a very kind of a immature type of a attitude that may be going on. And I apologize. I got a text came in. So hey, that's good though. So right, maybe you're waiting on some information. But the Seven of Swords has that sneaky kind of vendetta, kind of a maybe there's a little bit of a trust scenario going on here. And then it's followed by the Page of Pentacles. So there is a newness about this that maybe you don't quite trust. You're very guarded in that scenario. But the Four of Pentacles feels like you're trying to let that down. You're trying to let your guard down around that trust. See if maybe this Page of Pentacles is the real thing. It's what I feel like. Page of Pentacles is a very youthful type energy, saying, I'm not afraid to explore. I'm not afraid to expand. I'm not afraid to step out and take control of my destiny. Excuse me. So I feel like that's a really good pull right there. The only thing I could say would be this Seven of Pentacles is maybe there's still a lingering thought of you that just has a trust issue, and it may be surrounded by this King of Cups. But let's find out some more about this energy. You started off with the Ace of Pentacles, so it's a divine offering, meaning that no matter what, there's healing taking place too. The heart space, it's one of our attachments to the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups, so to speak, that we lead by our hearts, the very emotional, the emotional side of us, the guidance side of us with our hearts. So there's a lot of healing taking place. And I would like to know what this energy can conclude with here. Okay, so a little bit of guardedness. We have that warrior spirit still. The Seven of Wands shows up, and the Four of Swords in the reverse position. So it's definitely a guarded, emotional. Perhaps somebody's not very good with their words. Perhaps somebody is, which is ironic. Say that Gemini is the communication sign. They are very good communicators. But they're more, I have to show you kind of a communicator. And the Four of Swords kind of tells me that while in the upright position, it's in the reverse, but while in the upright position, you're really, really focused on something. Now it seems like you're not as focused on anything in particular, but you're still guarded because that's your dominant energy, okay? But I see healing, and I see, a wonderful side with the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. So your finances are going to be turning around, and then you're manifesting the Lovers. Okay. You're manifesting the Lovers, but there is a very dominant energy around you. The Emperor is in reverse, is an instability. This causes an instability in you or in your relationship. Perhaps you have feelings for someone else, or perhaps there is a dominating energy around you that seems like it's trying to control your every move. That's what the Emperor in the reverse position talks about. But you're manifesting the Lovers, so lucky charms. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands in the reversed. Almost a determination, like I'm letting this down, I'm letting my guard down, followed by the Knight of Cups. Like, whether or not this information comes in, whether or not this offering comes in, I'm putting everything, I'm moving out of this situation. I'm leaving that guarded type of you're taking a leap. You're taking a bold leap here. And that's honorable, right? Yeah. Who wouldn't want to be in that position where you confronted somebody or made a commitment to somebody, or to come forward and say, or to speak your truth or whatever. But we have the Ten of Swords. The sudden death is being put off in... I want to look at that Ten of Swords real quick. Um, why are we seeing that Ten of Swords right now? What is up with that? Recovery, renewal. Okay. Healing, perspective, release. Awesome. So you're seeing the light in something. Maybe something came clear. And I feel like it's very recent. Like, you just woke up to something that you no longer I don't know, you got the Two of Wands, it's a very grounded saying, I'm moving out, I'm looking out, I'm looking into the prospect of this King of Cups, or I'm looking, you know, maybe you've been watching social media, maybe you're, following a person and you're trying to get more information, obtain more information. Maybe that's why this Seven of Swords came out, and you feel like you have to sneak around to do it. There's an Emperor energy here. So perhaps you're in a karmic relationship, and you're feeling like, if anybody knew about this, you're going to be causing some kind of tower moment in your life, and that's understandable. Yeah, so the Queen of Swords shows up, and it's like a loyalty. This is a loyalty scenario here. Queen of Swords is, upright. She is as forward, straightforward, and stable as the Emperor is in the upright. However, she's in the reverse position, meaning that this dominant energy means I just don't know how to say the right words. I don't know how to speak or communicate thoroughly. And this could be a person who's maybe a little avoidant in nature. However, it's followed by, or the card following, the Queen of Swords in reverse is the Ten of Pentacles. So there's a loyalty. You feel very loyal, and it could be loyal towards. It's funny that the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles are both in that same. It's almost like your over generosity towards this loyalty to this family structure, this family unit, is the bind that's keeping you stuck, is what it seems like. And you don't quite know how to express that. Not that you need to. You got the Chariot card. It's an awakening, okay? Chariot represents the spiritual awakening. The Chariot represents willpower, courage, strength, and it's followed by the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position. Excuse me. The Chariot is to the High Priestess the same kind of an energy, okay? Chariot speaks about moving away, out and away from kind of that materialistic type world. The Chariot builds by his own means. So, you are a builder, you are a creator. But it also talks about the balance of your light and dark side, right? The two sphinx that are down below, the black and the white sphinx here, talk about that balance between the light and the dark side of our aspects. So, so maybe you're coming to the realization, or you have already done this, perhaps, but it's followed by the Knight of Pentacles in a reverse, and I'm kind of curious why the Knight showed up. Where are we at here? Let me find this. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I've got so many damn buttons to try to find these for you, but let's see that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So there is a overcautiousness. Yeah, that's what I feel like. A lack of progress, a burnout, a doubt, a repetition. Yeah, I mean, you're maybe experiencing this over and over and over again, and you feel like you're at a point where you have to finally address it, maybe. And maybe it's family involvement that that you're concerned about, or this person that you're in a relationship with, perhaps, or perhaps it's this new lover that you're trying to manifest, or and being in this King of Cups, you're grounded in this love that's overflowing, and yet you feel very guarded and very yeah, you're very posed, you're very protective, and I feel like there's a protection over maybe revealing something that has to do with your family structure unit. This could be a group of people. This could be like you're involved with certain individuals, your buds, your pals, your friends, or confidants, whoever they are. They see you one way, but yet you're changing. We've seen the chariot, the high priestess. These are all transformation energies that say, the Queen of Cups. My goodness. So yeah, and not to mention your very second card was the Empress. So you're already in those positions, and it's like you're changing and evolving, and you're seeing people behind you, and now it's on your mind. You're healing and you're evolving. Yeah, we had, the Three of Swords over here. So I kind of feel like, you know, I'm going to put my beautiful face back up here so I can talk. And I don't want to go any further. The reason is because I feel like there is a beautiful scenario taking place. Congratulations, number one. It's a beautiful thing to finally wake up to realize that you want more out of life, and then we have these moments where we always wonder what everybody's going to think. I don't want rumors to start. I don't want people to um, make rumors. I don't want. Sometimes we just don't want people to see us change. Sometimes, like there's and I'm not comparing, you and I to animals, but when an animal goes towards the end of its life, sometimes it will seclude itself, to be left alone and to embrace its death. And we are animalistic in that way. We sometimes like to seclude so that we can let parts of ourselves die and try to understand more. So maybe here lately you've been seeing yourself secluded more, maybe more in that hermit mode. I didn't see the hermit, we didn't see that, but I do know that there is a enlightenment taking place, and it's shown all over the cards. A very beautiful spread, actually. And to find love, or at least to feel love, and to feel that page of Pentacles energy, very grounded in I could love again and the possibility of that, right? And so things like karmic relationships, or the relationships you're in, I hate to even call them karmic, they could be soul contracts with people, but love is love is love, right? And it always seems to dominate in our energies, and no matter what, the harder we try to push against it, the faster it comes. Or when we try to chase it, the further away it gets. And it is so strange, that dynamic is so strange. And so letting people in on that world, especially when you're not able to maybe verbalize that or communicate to people, and even if you did, you're going to get reactions from them that you probably don't even want. You just want to sit and revel in that newness, that excitement of it. So it's all a beautiful thing. And here's the thing: I'm not trying to excuse anybody from taking the approach of, maybe talk to the partner you're with or anything like that. But um, I feel like there's a very domineering energy. Whoever this is for, there's something very domineering that kind of takes precedence over your own feelings. And just a minute. Sorry. Ah, I'm a smoker, so I get that dry throat thing. But so I feel like maybe there is this tendency to allow other people's intentions, whether they be good or bad, that you always weigh them out. And here's the thing: if not today or tomorrow, eventually you're going to stop doing that. You're going to realize that you've wasted a whole lot of time with um, trying to people please and make everybody satisfied. And the longer you continue to do that, the further away you get from your true awakening, which is that you were meant to be sovereign. You were meant to make decisions on your own. You were meant to stand firm in those decisions and let your desires guide you through each and every step. And it's not easy. And no matter what people say on the internet, you're always going to be doing it alone. And regardless if there's a new relationship coming, or if you're leaving another relationship, or if you're moving towards a new work environment, a new social circle, anything, you're still doing it alone. So I feel like this is a very beautiful read, and I'm actually honored to to have those cards show up, because they seem to fall in such a beautiful order, sort of like I feel like somebody is, you know, coming into light and really stepping into their power and taking control of it, and really that's what life is about, for us to stand in our own conviction and say, regardless of what decisions I make or what choices I make, um, they're mine to make, and uh, the consequences will be mine. We can't always choose the circumstances that we're in, but how we feel about those, um, we can control that. So, Gemini, it's a beautiful read. I'm really grateful that you stopped in. I hope everybody stayed, and got something from the reading. Like I said, it's timeless energy. It can't be created nor destroyed. So the cards are what they are. I just read to you, tell you what the cards are. Maybe this connected with somebody, and if you're in this position, I'm proud of you. That's really cool. It feels very beautiful, um, very mature, and yeah, ooey gooey, and I love, love, love. So anyway, I love you, appreciate you. I hope you come back and see me. Thanks for joining me. All right, bye.